baby's now 4 months old. Boy, she's growing a lot and she's starting to play more. She smiles more. She'll hold things in your hand when you give them to her. She's a lot more fun. This is about the time I really started falling in love with my children, because they could interact with you better. You know, before that, they were just pretty much eating and drinking and sleeping and messing up their diapers. At this age, they're a little bit more fun. One of the most exciting things at 4 months is it's time to start feeding her something other than her milk. You can start rice cereal. Now, the best way to do the cereal is give it to her with a spoon. You mix it in a bowl. You take, a couple of tablespoons of dry rice cereal, mix some formula with it, feed it to her with a spoon. Now, when you mix it together, don't make it real thick like oatmeal like you and I would eat, and don't make it as thin as milk. Somewhere in between is fine, and there's no science to it, just somewhere in between. You feed it to her with a spoon. Now, I'm not a big fan of you feeding it to her with these bottle-like feeders where they suck on it just like they do a bottle. I'd rather you use a spoon. Why? I don't have any real good reason. There's no scientific proof that it's better for them to do it that way. I just like to do it that way. So what you do is at each feeding, you feed your baby the cereal. You feed her as much as you can get in her. If she eats everything that you fixed for her, mix her up some more. Feed her some more. After she doesn't want any more cereal, that's when you nurse her, or that's when you give her a bottle of formula. Don't give her the formula. Don't nurse her at the beginning. We want to start filling her up on the cereal rather than the milk. Do this 4 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, supper, and bedtime. And again, you feed her till she stops. I wouldn't start anything other than cereal, though, at this age. Again, the earlier you start things, the more likely your baby is to develop allergies to foods. Now, I used to even start them on cereal at 4 months. I waited till 6 months. That's the way I did with my own children. But it was a losing battle. It was hard to get parents to wait until 6 months to start anything else. So I compromised and said, yep, we'll go ahead and start rice cereal. If you want to wait until 6 months, go ahead and wait until 6 months. But for those of you who are just so anxious and you just got to do it, go ahead and start that rice cereal at this age. All the other things, the juices, the other cereals, the meats, the fruits, the vegetables, wait until 6 months old to start those things. Now today, probably your baby is going to get some more shots. And again, if the legs get red and warm and tender, just put a cool washcloth on there. If your baby runs any fever, now she can have up to a full dropper of the acetaminophen to help with that fever. But most of the time, it just makes them a little fussy or makes them sleep a little bit more. Still at this age, you want to be sleeping her on her back, unless she's already rolling herself over and deciding where she wants to sleep. Always put her down on her back. If she decides to roll over and sleep on her tummy, that's okay too. You can't strap her down and make her sleep a certain way. When she gets to this age and she's rolling over, she's going to pretty much decide where she sleeps. Now, as far as the car, she still needs to be in the car seat. Never let her out of her car seat, even for just a minute. If your car is moving, your baby needs to be in her car seat, strapped in there real well. Don't get her out, even just for a second, because it's just too dangerous. Your doctor is probably going to show you how your baby is growing compared to other babies on a growth chart. Don't be alarmed if your baby's smaller than other babies. Don't be alarmed if your baby's bigger than other babies, unless your doctor tells you to be alarmed. Babies fall into a wide range. Some of them are small, petite, some of them are large. Don't worry about it unless your doctor tells you it's something that you need to be worried about. Again, babies are playing more at this age. They're more fun. Some of them are rolling over, some of them are not. Before we started sleeping babies on their backs, they usually rolled over about 2 months old or 3 months old. Now some of them wait until 4 or 5 or 6 months old. Don't get worried about that unless, again, your doctor thinks that there's a problem there. It's usually not a problem. They just take their time. Since they're not sleeping on their tummy, they're not pushing up with their arms and getting used to that. Now they roll over a little bit later in life than they used to. So if you've got an old child rearing book, it may scare you to death. Get a newer one and it'll tell you that they roll over a little bit later. The 4-month-old checkup is just a very easy thing. It's pretty much the same as the 2-month-old one, except you can start rice cereal now. So my best to your family, and give your kids a hug tonight.